Hey friends, welcome back to the Healthy Beyond 40 podcast. Today I'm going to be diving into something I get asked all the time. How do I get a flatter belly, a flatter stomach? And I'm going to be talking about some of the common mistakes when it comes to core training, especially for women over 40. But here's the thing. Your core is just not your six packs of muscles. Like that six pack we see that we want, but if we're real, most of us are not going to get that. Because women are meant to have body fat. So we're not really meant to be like super lean where all of our muscles are popping through, but we can have that strength in our core, and maybe there will be some definition too. So our core includes our lower abs, our sides, our obliques, and our back muscles, and all of these muscles work together. So if you're only focusing on crunches or sit-ups, you're really missing some important pieces and possibly making things worse and possibly making yourself more prone to injury. Hi friends, and welcome to the Healthy Beyond 40 show. I'm Michele, mama 4 and military wife. And I'm passionate about helping women get healthy from the inside out so they can feel better and live their best life. Do you feel like you're struggling to lose weight and get in shape? If you're ready to develop healthier habits, exercise consistently, and lose weight sustainably, then you're in the right place. I combine my expertise from my doctorate in physical therapy to my experience as a health coach, personal trainer, and yoga teacher to bring you actionable steps for a healthy lifestyle. No magic pill here, so lace up those shoes and get moving. All right, so I'm excited for this topic today because I sort of cringe when I see people doing a bunch of crunches or sit-ups because I know it's not the best thing for their body. But before we get started, I want to know if you've been feeling stuck with your health, your weight, or just really getting into a routine that feels good. If that's you, I invite you to set up a totally free health coaching call with me. It's super laid back. We can chat by phone or video, whatever you're comfortable with. We're going to be talking about your goals, what's feeling hard right now, and what might be keeping you stuck. I get it. Opening up to someone new can feel scary, but sometimes when we start to take that one small step forward, that's exactly what we need to break us out of the fear that has been holding us back. There's no guilt. There's no shame wherever you are. And there's no pressure. This call just helps to see if we're a good fit. And if we're not, I'll help you figure out what that next step should be. Some of my clients are seeing amazing results right now. One I have who is pretty consistently on average losing about a pound a week, and she's in her lowest size that she's been in years, and she feels great. I have other people who are bouncing back quicker from tough weeks where they're over busy, or like maybe they have an illness, or they've had more parties or things like that, and they've had these little setbacks. But now that they have the support, they're really bouncing back a lot quicker and not spiraling. So if you're craving that consistency and ready to feel better in your body again, set up a free call. You've got nothing to lose, and it might just be the thing that changes everything. There's going to be a link down below where you can sign up for that call. And as a thank you, if you're a teacher, military, or frontline worker, I offer 10% off my services for you. Just let me know on that call. It's just a small way I can honor you for all that big work you do. So it's been a little while since I've done an episode on the core, and what sparked this is my husband and I recently went to the YMCA and did a yoga class. Like a super sweet teacher. She was great. But when she went to work on the core, she was including things that were crunch-like, sit-ups-like, and, it's a variety of class from very beginner level, some older people, and to some people who were more fit. And every time I see a class like this, I cringe a little bit because not that crunches are necessarily bad, but a lot of us, if we don't know how to actually do them properly and engage our lower core muscles, then that crunch or that sit-up just tends to pull our abdominal muscles apart. So if we think about that six pack and that line down the middle, like during pregnancy, we can get that separation, like diastasis recti. And you don't have to be pregnant to get this. I've seen it in men. I've seen it in kids. And when we get that split because we're doing crunches or sit-ups and we're not engaging our core properly, it can pull it further and further apart. And really for most of us, since I have had my fourth child, he is now 7, I don't really do crunches or sit-ups at all. Obviously, like when I go to sit up or, something like that. But I've been able to strengthen my core without having to do that. Because when we start to focus on our lower core and really engaging that muscle, our main lower core muscle is going to be our transverse abdominis muscle. So it goes from hip bone to hip bone. When we do that, we engage that six-pack muscle too. But we just have to learn this correctly to be able to do other things. And we don't have to do crunches or sit-ups to get a really strong core. And like I said, it may be something that if you're not doing it properly could sort of make your core weaker because it's pulling your abdominal muscles further apart from each other instead of zipping it up together and making that core stronger. So even sometimes I'll do yoga videos from home. When I do yoga, I like just following somebody else. It's like almost every time in the core part, I'm modifying it or doing it in some other way because I know that I don't need to like lift my head up and do a crunch as we're doing stuff. There's so many other ways that I can work my core. Even though I have a stronger core and I know how to do that now, I've also realized like I don't need to. I've gotten a really strong core without doing any of that. All right, so on to the next topic here. So if you're thinking that you want a flatter stomach, I want to challenge you to think bigger. And not just having a flat stomach, but thinking about having a stronger core. One that's going to support your body, help your posture, right? We don't want to be that person that's slouching or having the rounding shoulders or just like taking so much effort to sit up tall or stand up tall. We want to prevent back pain. And yes, when we do this, it can help our belly look firmer and tone that area too. So if we're sort of stuck in the aesthetic or just how things look, we're really missing so much more. So if that's you, I really encourage you to think beyond the aesthetics and what our body really needs. Our body really needs a strong core of our stomach and our ab muscles and our back muscles all working together. We want to have a strong core so that when we go to pick something off the floor or carry groceries, we're not hurting our back. So we need to have the proper mechanics to know how to pick something up or move something, but we also need the core strength to be able to do that too. We have to know how when we pick something up, how can we use our leg muscles and not just our back muscles? Because our leg muscles are huge. They're big muscles. And if we look at our back muscles, there's a lot of small muscles. So our legs are going to have just more power in them. So when we go to pick up something, we have to know how to use our legs and we have to know how to engage our core to be able to do that to prevent injury. And we have to really be able to activate these deep core muscles in our stomach, not just that six pack. And trust me, this is something you have to learn. Like even if you're doing a plank, for example, if you're not doing it correctly and contracting your lower abdominal muscles, then you can be pulling that six-pack muscles apart. So a plank is a pretty advanced core exercise. So you can do it, but you need to know how to do it correctly. And most videos, most classes I go to, they don't really focus on this. So I actually have a 5-minute a day core course that you guys can take. There's going to be a link down below. So it's only 5 minutes a day and there's 5 days. And you don't have to do them all like day 1, day 2, day 3, You can like repeat day 1 a few times, how many days you want, then progress to day 2. You can set it up how you want. But in this core course, you're going to see how to engage your lower muscles. You're going to see when you do a plank, how to engage the lower core muscle so you're doing it correctly. You're going to see how I'm setting up a 5-minute core workout to include stomach and back all together. And as the days go along, they're going to progress and get harder. So you may be someone who doesn't really get to day 4 or 5, and that's okay. So I encourage you guys to take advantage of that core course, share it with a friend, and do it together. All right, so some other mistakes that I see is people trying to do abdominal exercises every single day. So your core is a muscle group just like your arms and legs, and I'm not going to work my arms heavy every single day. Our muscles need rest so they can rebuild and regrow. So we don't have to kill our abs every day to see results. So typically what I do is probably about 3 days a week. It's usually when I'm doing yoga, there's core training in there. is that I'm doing specific core training. But that doesn't mean like when I'm doing my strength training with weights, there's exercises I'm engaging my abs, but I'm not doing like a specific core exercise. I'm giving my abs a break. And especially so if you're more doing light core training or you're learning how to do some of these moves, you can do them back to back, but you don't want to train your core really hard to fatigue every single day. So as you are learning some of these, there's going to be like muscle memory that you're trying to get. And sometimes we can do some of those every day, but we're not working super hard to fatigue every day. So I hope that makes sense. So one of the other mistakes is only training your abdominal muscles. So if you're not strengthening your backs, your sides, your core is going to be imbalanced, and that's when injuries can happen. So we don't want to be that person who sneezes and throws out their back. So we have to make sure that we're training our core properly and not just focusing on the front. All those muscles connect and they work together in real life. And that's part of the reason we have to go beyond the aesthetic and think, what are we doing here? Most of us don't want to be sitting in bed with back pain because we can't get out of bed. And there might be things that happen, but the more that we can strengthen and the more we know the mechanics of how to pick up and move things and do exercises correctly, the better chance that we're going to have. And the other myth I sort of see is thinking that you can spot reduce belly fat. So I hate to break it to you guys, but no matter how many sit-ups you do or an exercise you do for a core, that doesn't mean the fat of your body is going to come off there. So typically when you lose fat, it just loses wherever it is naturally going to be lost in your body first. So some people are going to have more fat in their legs than others. All of our body types are different. So for most of us, we tend to lose fat like all around. So we might lose a little in our face, our arms, our stomach, our legs, our butt. So as we're losing fat, it's sort of going to come off in all these different places. So it's not like if I'm doing a crunch, I'm saying to those fat cells, you're going away. It just doesn't work like that. And especially when we're thinking of wanting a smaller belly, it's really going to come down to, how am I eating? Am I eating well? Am I making sure that I'm not overeating? Am I getting enough movement and steps in? Am I building muscle so that I'm bumping up my metabolism? So all these other factors are going to matter more than any specific core exercise if you want to lose fat around your belly. So do you guys get that? If you want to lose fat around your belly, it's more going to be, how can I eat better? Am I not overeating? Am I getting enough protein? Am I moving enough? Am I building strength and muscle in my body? And those things are going to matter more than versus certain core exercises. So I know that might be disappointing for you guys because doing 5, 10, 15 minutes of core exercise seems like an easier thing than really working on these overall healthy habits, but that's really how it works. So if you're over 40 and you're feeling like my belly just won't budge, don't fall into that trap of just doing more crunches. Learn how to train your core correctly and really add in those healthy habits that you need to have that consistency and to lose weight. So remember, when we're thinking of stomach muscles, we need to train those deep core muscles and strengthen our whole core, front, sides, and backs, and give your body rest time. It needs to get stronger. All right, and remember, if you need a place to start, grab my 5-day free core training at just 5 minutes a day. It's going to give you those building blocks on how to train your core the right way. All right, friends, so stay strong and see you next week.